This E3 special report is sponsored by iRacing.com.
Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Sean Cole with Darren Ganji, Tom Hackey, and we are here for our Driver San Francisco edition from E3. And this is a game by Ubisoft. It employs that open world type thing where you can drive anywhere. They do have a career mode that involves chasing the bad guys, I believe. But we really got a chance to try the multiplayer out.
Yeah, kind of similar to The Run, which is another game we tried.
Almost the same storyline. I'm kind of mixing the two up at times.
Yeah, I have too.
Tell them a little bit about the multiplayer mode, though.
Yeah, we got to play like a tag mode where you basically are driving a car. You start, someone's in control of the tag. And as soon as you touch cars, the other guy becomes in control of the tag. At any time while you're driving a car, you can switch cars. Actually, could you switch cars while you had the tag?
No, you cannot. You lose the tag if you switch cars with the tag.
Okay, so you can't switch cars if you have the tag, but if you don't have the tag, you can go into this, like, what kind of mode would you call it, Tommy?
Well, they call it shift mode.
Shift mode? Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a coincidence. Need for Speed. So, yeah, you go to this shift mode, and, like, why don't you tell them about what happens?
You sort of zoom out of the car, and you can zoom out at different levels, really far away or really close, and you can jump to another car, sort of as if you were Agent Smith in the Matrix or something. You know, you can take over somebody else's body in the driver's seat of another car and go grab that car.
And it's tough to, Sean, you played it. We all played it together against each other, which was really cool.
Well, you have to, like, predict where someone's going to be. And, we've played other tag games, but they're in very confined areas. This is a tremendously large amount of area.
Yes.
And if you make a mistake and go the wrong way, I mean, you're trying to find them and then leap into a car, like you said, Agent Smith style. I think that's the best way to describe it. But, yeah, leap into that car far in advance and hopefully be able to tag them or not be farther out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I would do was try to go against traffic. So, whoever
by
was
the time they jump into the car
would be past you. Exactly.
Yeah.
And versus being on the same side of traffic, they could just be behind me and then try to, get me from behind.
And don't crash, because if you're standing still, you're in trouble.
Can't use a wheel in this game. You'll hear about this in the interview with two of the developers, but can't use a wheel, and it's not really a wheel game. But the physics engine, man, when you're stuck in some of the high horsepower cars, like, the cars start burning the tires, and you're sitting there for a second.
And they did have a ton of different cars in the game and some very cool cars. I think they had Mustangs, maybe. I'm not sure about
Camaros.
the Mustangs.
Yeah, they had all sorts of different cars, so that was really cool.
So anyway, it's definitely a motorsports game. It's not a racing game. I did get a chance to hang out with the developers and do a little interview, let them talk about the game a little bit. So why don't we check that out? I'm Sean Cole with Inside Sim Racing, and I'm at the Ubisoft booth where we have Driver San Francisco. I'm here with Mary Jo and John Sebastian. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And congratulations on the game and E3 and being here, the beautiful car. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the game?
Yeah, Driver San Francisco is a chase-oriented action game with a story and this new exciting mechanic, which is the shift.
And the shift, that gives me the ability to jump from my car to any car in the game?
Yes, absolutely.
You can shift out of a car and you have all of San Francisco open to you, and you pick any car you want, and right away you can just jump right back into it and constantly be kept in the flow of the action without loading and constantly at 60 frames a second.
Okay. And so when you're doing that, are you doing that because you beat your car up too bad or because you want a better ride? What's the main reason to shift?
If you're in free drive, so out of missions, it's just to have fun. So when your car is beat up, just shift out and take another one. Right. Or you see something that is better, like a Lamborghini Jalpa or something, you go out and you take it.
Sure.
But in missions, you have cars that you take care of. You have to take care of. So you keep in the car. You stay in the car. Okay?
We also use it to create new types of gameplay. If you're a cop and you're chasing somebody, and you can have many different partners, and you can shift back and forth between your various partners to try to set up situations to take down the bad guy.
Okay, so in addition to racing, we have a little bit of cops and robbers going on.
There's a lot of cops and robbers. It really is a story-focused game. There's a big investigation going on. You're a detective, and you're trying to catch the ultimate bad guy. And in the meantime, you're also helping people around San Francisco, because when you shift into a car, you shift into somebody's life and you interrupt a conversation with a passenger. And so, for example, at one point, you'll shift into somebody and there's these two Japanese kids and they want to be street racers, but they're terrible at it. So you're just going to take over for them and race for them and try to help them out. So you do that with all sorts of people in San Francisco in all sorts of situations.
Oh, that's very unique. Okay, so it takes place in San Francisco. We have, 200 square miles of open terrain. Now, when I'm racing, am I utilizing the open terrain, or does it become a circuit course for that moment in time?
It depends on the mission. We have open races where you have to go to a destination and you take whatever route you want.
Okay.
And we also have checkpoint races where you have to follow a defined route.
Okay.
And as we have a very varied selection of cars, you have races with street racing cars, but also supercars, but also buggies and rally cars. It's really varied.
Okay. How many cars are in the game?
Over 130 licensed vehicles, plus we built up our own extra vehicles as well.
Any clue what the built your own? What type of car is that?
Oh, just different cars that we needed to do it, but for licensing reasons we couldn't really use. So cop cars and firemen.
And cars you can blow, basically, because we can't blow up licensed cars.
All right, so blow up. Let's talk about damage. Is damage a big part of the game?
Yeah, all the cars, all the licensed cars, the 130 cars are fully destructible. So you can see very high damage on every car, from Lamborghini to Ford to Chevrolet to a lot of other brands.
Okay, so how does one win the game?
Well, at the beginning of the game, you're put into a coma, and so you're laying in your hospital bed, and you're being fed all sorts of information about what the bad guy is doing by the news, by the TV in your hospital room, and by your partner, your sidekick, who's talking to you the whole time. And in your dream, which is where the game happens, you're piecing things together from that information coming through you. And the ultimate quest is to figure out what he's up to from these various reports, wake yourself up, and catch him.
Okay, so with all the racing, we're always working a storyline through the game.
There is a storyline, but on the side you have plenty of other things to do. So for instance, the races, you have like 50 races in the game, you can go, and you can take any car. So you can buy cars in your garage and go to the race with it.
Okay.
So you could go with a Nissan GTR or a Lamborghini Jalpa or whatever you want. It's you decide. And depending on your opponents, you will be better or worse depending on the car you bring.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about physics, the car handling. What's gone into the handling of the cars? Do I notice, 130 cars, can I feel the difference in the cars?
Yes, each car has been has a unique setting. To talk about the handling, it's important to talk about the team. At Reflection, they're doing car games since the mid-90s, and they are crazy about it. They build cars on the weekend. They look at videos like a wheel of a Audi, and they hear the sounds, and they just can recognize the car by the sound.
Right.
And they are obsessed by it, and they work day and night to bring the best handling possible to their game. They love that. And I think we can see that in the game because it's quite easy to pick up. It's quite arcadey in the way you drive the car, but when you see the reaction on screen, it's quite elaborate, and you feel like you get it. Actually, there was a stuntman from Hollywood yesterday. He played the game. I was surprised. He was very good at it. And after that, he said, "Oh, you know what? I'm a stuntman. This game is ace. It's spot on."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You gotta love hearing that from them.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you talked about the distinct sound of the Audi. So these guys, they're really being perfectionists about each car being unique.
Yes. And also, it's important to talk about Martin Edmondson, who is the creative director of the game and the founder of Reflection. He's a car nut. He's really a car nut. And he spent months tuning the damage system and also the handling and the sounds of the cars.
Okay.
We recorded real cars, but then we tweaked it in order to get the sounds right. He's really obsessed by that, and I think you can see it and feel it when you play the game.
Okay, fantastic. And on the same thing on the physics, is he that critical about the way it drives as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
And, I'm a designer, so my job is also to make the game accessible. So sometimes I ask that, for instance, when you have a little bump, your car is not going to spin.
Right.
And then we have fights because it's not realistic.
Okay.
So we have to find the middle ground to get the fun out of it.
Okay, and you mentioned fun. So when you think of this, I think, we have a wide variety of driving games. Some are very arcade, some are full-blown simulation. Where do you think this falls in that hierarchy?
I think we're just in the middle. Yeah.
And will it be available on all platforms? Xbox, PC, every platform? What
Xbox 360, PS3, PC, and Mac.
Let's talk about controls. Are you going to be able to use a steering wheel when driving the game?
We tried it, but the problem is the game asks you to steer a lot, left and right, very often, and this is exhausting with a steering wheel, so we left it on the side.
So I'm very excited about the game. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. When will it be available?
It's going to be available in the United States on August 30th, 2011.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and we'll look forward to playing it soon.
Thank you.
So that's going to about do it for Driver San Francisco. I look forward to getting this in when we can really play all the different game modes.
We got one more thing to talk about here. during Sean's interview with two really cool people. I'd like to thank them for, taking the time to interview with us, Mary Jo and Jean Sebastian.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, good sports.
Talk about good sports. So we're sitting there doing this interview. I'm running the main camera. Tommy's running the side camera. And our good friend Terry's running sound. And off to the side, I see these two, and Tommy sees them too, because Tommy's actually pointing
I'm
right at him.
looking right at him. I'm watching him scheme, and
I'm doing my interview thing.
yeah, Sean's on it.
And all of a sudden, this guy, who we found out's name is Guy, is a comedian on a local show here called Chelsea Lately. It's some late night talk show, comedy, variety show.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this guy just comes out of nowhere, and you guys got to just see the rest. So I don't want to blow it for you, but this is probably one of the funniest, oddest moments. And then something else happens afterwards. We're gonna go out of the show and show you guys that, but it's really funny. You got to watch it. One of the funniest outtakes in the last 4 years since we've started the show.
That was funny.
Definitely an odd moment. Thanks for watching our Driver San Francisco preview, first look at E3 2011. I'm Darren Ganji.
I'm Tom Hackey.
Sean Cole, we're out of here.
I think we're just in the middle. Yeah.
Okay. And will it be available on all platforms?
It'll
Yes.
be available on Xbox 3. He loves Mustangs.
That was very interesting. The guy loves Mustangs, so.
And he kisses me.
so-
Okay.
All right. Better you than me.
He loves Frenchmen and Mustangs.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
We're good.
Bye.
Yeah. Do you mind if I give you a kiss on the cheek?
Me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Bye.
That's called a happening.
I got lucky.
Yeah. One's got lucky.
All right.